Testing, testing, testing. All right, nutrition basics, health 9. Here we go. Honestly, this is take number 10, just for your information. All right, so nutrition is the science or study of food and the ways in which your body uses food. Nutrients are substances that provide that energy or help form body tissues, which is necessary for life and growth. So there is a difference between nutrition and nutrients. So the 6 classes of nutrients that we're going to be talking about are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. So as we go through this, I want you to think about why eating healthy now is relevant to your future health and be able to explain how food is fuel for your body. So metabolism is the sum of chemical processes that occur in your body to keep you alive and active. You often hear people discussing their metabolism as it decreases as they get older. And as a teenager, they were able to eat whatever they want, but as they got older, they discovered that that wasn't so much the case. Well, the metabolism is just calories that are burnt just at rest. So your body naturally just burns calories to keep you alive. And as you age, that decreases. So the amount of calories that you're burning at rest decreases. For females, typically in their teenage years and high school is when their metabolism starts to slow. Where males, generally, it's when you get out of high school. Some diseases such as thyroid disorders can also affect your metabolism. Calories are energy. So when you hear calories and you see calories, and we're recording and tracking our calories in our food log and our fast food evaluation, I want you to think about calories are just purely energy for your body. So if we look at what carbs and proteins have to offer, carbs have 4 calories per gram. So if you had something that had 5 grams of carbohydrates, it would be 20 calories that come from carbs. Fats have 9 calories per gram. So the calories, as we look at it as energy, 5 pounds of spaghetti could brew a pot of coffee. 1 piece of cherry cheesecake could light a light bulb for an hour and a half, and 217 Big Macs could drive a car for 88 miles. So guys, what I want you to think about as you look at this chart is I want you to think about where you fit. So based off your age and your activity level, this is a chart that's going to give you a more specific number of calories that you need compared to MyFitnessPal, which we'll also be using. So I want you to compare those two. So let's say that you are 14 and you consider yourself sedentary, which means that you do very limited or no activity. You would need 2,100 calories to stay in your activity level and your age level. Low active means that you do some activity but not very much. So it's not vigorous, it's not very strenuous. Someone who is active will probably exercise 3 to 4 times a week where they raise their heart rate for at least 30 to 60 minutes. And someone who's considered very active is someone who's in a sport or some kind of out-of-school activity or is in the weight room, active almost every day for 60 minutes or more. So guys, I want you to pause if you need to and kind of figure out where you fit on this chart and write that number down. Girls, you're going to look at this chart and do the same thing. Let's say you're 14 and you consider yourself active because you exercise at least 3 to 5 times a week. Your number would be 2,334 calories that you would need on a daily basis. So again, compare that to MyFitnessPal. If we compare that to a male who's 14 and active, we'll see that his number would be 2,830. So male and female numbers will differ. Males will need more calories than females, especially as the age increases. All right, so carbs is the first nutrient we'll talk about. Carbohydrates are the body's main source of energy. They're broken down into simple and complex. Simple are glucose, fructose, lactose, and sucrose, found in different things. Lactose is found in milk, fructose is found in fruits, glucose is what everything is broken down to. You'll find simple sugars in juice, as well as candy. Anything that's a processed food with high amounts of sugar is usually a simple sugar. Soda would be a simple sugar. Complex are usually found in different types of grains, pastas, vegetables, as listed. They're known as starches, so corn. But what you want to try to do is you want to try to make half of these grains whole grain. So complex starches are better when they're whole grain. They give you longer energy, they last longer, and it's a recommendation by the Food and Drug Administration and choosemyplate.gov to make half of these whole. So brown rice instead of white rice, whole wheat instead of white, whole wheat pasta instead of white pasta, and making them whole so they're better sources of energy for you. So it's recommended that as a teenager you get 45 to 65% of your daily calories from carbohydrates. Women need 22 to 28 grams of fiber a day, men 28 to 34 grams. The fiber keeps the digestive system moving. Found in fruits and vegetables cannot be broken down by human enzymes. Therefore, they help keep the body regular as far as removing waste. So they're soluble and insoluble, and you'll see that soluble Lowers cholesterol, dissolves in water, lowers blood pressure. You can find it in apples, oranges, and oats. Insoluble is best for irregularity. It doesn't dissolve in water. It slows digestion, which means that if you want to stay full for longer, you need to eat foods high in fiber, especially insoluble fiber. Insoluble is found in veggies and whole grains. So here are just some more ideas of where you can find them. Unsalted nuts and seeds, simply to reduce the amount of sodium your body intakes. Fats are also known as lipids, which is going to be our second category of nutrients. It's a fatty oily substance that does not dissolve in water. They're essential to storing energy and body function. You need the right kinds of fat in the healthy serving size. So you do need fats in your diet, but you need to regulate what types of fat you're putting into your body. So saturated is the first one we'll talk about. Too much saturated fat increases your risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. You're going to find it in meat and milk products, cheese. It increases cholesterol, so you want to choose lean proteins and low-fat dairy options. There's unsaturated fats as well, which are going to be the healthier type of fat. It lowers your risk of heart disease. It's found in low-fat dairy, nuts, and seeds. Olive oil, canola oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, omega-3 fatty acids. These are the best types of fats to ingest, better than vegetable oil. Trans fats occur naturally in some foods, especially foods from animals, but most trans fats are created during food processing through partial hydrogenation of saturated fat. So trans fat is a common ingredient in margarine, snack foods, commercial baked goods like your Twinkies, your Little Debbies, and it can increase your risk of heart disease. So it's best to just try to eliminate those fully from your diet. Most fast food restaurants and products do not put trans fats in their product anymore. So the recommendation for fat is 20 to 30% of total calories, and you'll evaluate that in your fast food evaluation. And you'll find that most fast food places, sometimes your calories from fat is making up like 50% of that meal. So you want to keep it to 25 to 30%. All right, so the cholesterol is another component of the fat nutrients. There's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. You need it to make vitamin D, cell membranes, hormones, and bile. But you don't want too much of it. So LDLs bring cholesterol to the cells, and when too many are present, it builds up on the artery walls, causing plaque, which closes that opening in the artery, making the heart have to work harder and potentially causing a heart attack. The good cholesterol are the HDLs, and they carry cholesterol back to the liver. So you see the HDLs are building up, the HDLs carry it away. You want more HDLs than LDLs in your body. Proteins are the third nutrient. They're made up of amino acids, which are known as the building blocks of proteins. They help build new cells, repair existing ones, form hormones, enzymes, antibodies, help with all different types of cells in your body. So if you ingest more protein than needed, it gets stored as fat, just as carbs do. There are 20 amino acids. 9 are essential because the body does not make them. The remainder are made in the body from essential amino acids. So there's 11 that are non-essential because the body makes them. 9 are essential. So a complete protein is when you have a protein that contains all 9 of the essential amino acids that the body does not make, creates a complete protein. So most animal products will be complete proteins. Incomplete proteins are proteins that are missing one or more of the essential amino acids. So someone who doesn't eat a lot of meat and mostly plant proteins, they're eating incomplete proteins. So you need to eat a variety of different types of proteins to make it complete. 10 to 35% of your calories should come from protein. So based on a 2,000 calorie diet, that's about 200 to 700 calories a day. Plant sources of protein, beans, lentils, soy products, and unsalted nuts are good, including seafood is good as well, and lean or low fat meat and poultry. Vitamins are next. They do not give any calories. So proteins, carbs, and fats all give energy. Vitamins do not give energy, but they support optimal health. They're absolutely necessary for growth, general well-being, and vitality. There's fat soluble and water soluble. Fat soluble gets stored in the body. Water soluble does not. It exits the body via urine. Minerals maintain all physiological processes as well as healthy teeth, bones, tissues, blood, muscle, and nerve cells. They act as catalysts for many biological reactions within the body. They're necessary for transmitting messages through your nervous system, digesting food, metabolism, and utilizing nutrients in your food. So without these minerals, your body's not able to take the nutrients out of the food and use them. So sodium you want no more than 2,300 to 2,400 a day, and calcium you want at least 1,300 milligrams a day. So calcium is extremely important. It's one of the minerals that people I think don't realize how important it is. So when your diet doesn't give you enough, doesn't provide enough calcium for blood clotting, heartbeat regulations, your body takes what it needs from your bones. So blood clotting and heartbeat regulation are more important than your bone density. So over time, this drain can weaken the bones to the point that they break easily. It's the framework for your bones. The more calcium your bones contain, the stronger and more dense they will be. Vitamin D is also a bone builder. It helps your body absorb the calcium. So you need both vitamin D and vitamin C to work together to maintain that bone density. We know that it's important. 9 to 18-year-olds need at least 1,300 milligrams, like was stated. So one 8-ounce cup of milk has 300 milligrams of calcium. 9 out of 10 teen girls and 7 out of 10 teen boys do not get enough calcium in their diet. In the birth to 20 is when you need to deposit the most calcium in your bones to increase that bone density so you're not at risk for bone disease at an early age. So cigarette smoking, caffeine, alcohol consumption, inadequate physical activity, just being female, body weight less than 130 pounds, being of Caucasian race, just choosing not to make good choices with calcium in their diet. Drinking dark colored soda removes the minerals from your bones. So water is the last nutrient we'll talk about. So water, vitamins, and minerals do not provide any calories, but they provide important functions in the body. So water is 2/3 of your body weight. It's recommended that consumption is 8 to 10 glasses a day, which equates to about 64 ounces. It's necessary for digestion, absorbing nutrients, body temp, regulation, circulating your blood, carrying nutrients and oxygen to your cells, removing toxins, cushioning joints, and protecting your inner organs. So we're going to move on to talk about how many calories would be in a pound. So to figure this out, I want you to read this problem below. Sally needs 2,000 calories a day based on her age and activity level. If she had an extra 100 calories a day for 35 days, she would gain a pound. So looking at that, pause if you need to, decide how many calories are in a pound. Next, you're going to evaluate the snack. So this is a Cliff Bar energy drink. What I want you to do is, based on me giving you the information of how many grams of fat, carbs, and proteins, I want you to tell me how many calories come from each, add up the calories, and tell me what the percent from each one, and then compare it to what's recommended. And then just tell me if it's healthy or unhealthy, and tell me why. Same thing for a Snickers bar. You can read this label and compute the same thing. Tell me if it's healthy or unhealthy, and why, knowing what you know about how many calories you get from fat, carbs, and protein. And then lastly, I want you to evaluate a snack of your own. So choose a snack that you would normally have, and it might be a piece of fruit, it might be a bag of chips. It doesn't necessarily need to have a label. You can use MyFitnessPal to figure out the information about it and explain why you think it's healthy or unhealthy. And lastly, after reviewing this presentation, and you can rewind and go back, I want you to look over these questions. So describe the role and function of each class of nutrient that contains calories. Just tell me what its most important function is. Discuss the importance of the 3 remaining nutrients that do not contain calories and what their role is in nutrition in your body. What is the recommended amount of calories you need based on your activity level, age, and gender, which you would have found in one of those charts. 4, how many calories are in a pound? The word problem I gave you. 5, why is eating healthy now relevant to your future health? 6, explain how fuel is to your body. 7, what percentage of your total calories should come from each? 8, besides calcium, what other mineral, vitamin is a bone builder? And the bonus question is, what is the difference between essential and non-essential amino acids? Answering that will give you extra credit. So here are the outcomes your family or your partner can work together with, but I want you to compare the nutritional needs for a physically active male teenager and a middle-aged sedentary female. Explain how being overweight, obesity can be the result of overeating and underactivity. Describe why the amount of food served may not be the appropriate amount to consume based on daily allowance of calories. 4, what are the benefits of buying locally grown and or produced foods? 5, discuss how you can evaluate the credibility of nutrition information online. So when you go to a website, how do you know if it's giving you good information or not? Who reviews it? How often is it updated? Is it somebody's blog? Is it reviewed by nutrition experts? Are they trying to sell you something? You need to evaluate a bunch of different things. 6, what's the risk between diet and chronic diseases such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and obesity? We've discussed this, so talk about each one. What causes high blood pressure? What can cause heart disease? What is the role of diet in those diseases? And when you answer these, you should have at least 2 to 3 sentences per question. If you work with somebody, I'm fine if you turn one in together. Next, I want you to go to choosemyplate.gov and just write a couple sentences on what this website provides. You can click on the link to get there. Should take you there to find it. All right. So that's what it looks like, and you can see what it has to offer. And lastly, if you have any questions, Edmodo or email me. Hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have questions, let me know. Have a great day.